Hi, I'm Jay White, the director of Rhythm and Blue. Now, we're excited about what we're going to do, and I had a chance to get together and virtually have a talk with our creative team to talk about what's exciting them about this format and this organization and what we want to do in 2023.
Would you be down to be involved? Would you be interested in this kind of thing? And I was like, yes. And the number one reason I thought was just because it's interesting and because almost it's undefined, which to some people might sound scary, but to me, that's the fun part. If we're like, hey, do you want to figure out this weird puzzle where we have no idea what we're going to do or how to do it? And it might not work. I'm like, ooh, actually, yeah. So just the idea to have kind of a blank slate. And then the more we've talked about it, the more I think there've been some really creative ideas, some really interesting ways to approach it. But it's just sort of sparked interesting questions like, oh, okay, well, what about this? Well, okay, if we have this space, what about this? Well, okay, well, if we have this sound and these instruments, what about this?
But for me, as far as the SoundSport thing goes, what's interesting and gets me really excited about this is just thinking about the evolution of the activity, all sorts of innovations around over the years, and how the Bluecoats have led a lot of that, in the modern era. And the case with the SoundSport is, how can the drum corps, or in this case, an offshoot of the drum corps, push things forward again? And to me, this is more like looking at the activity kind of as different kinds of media. If your DCI finals is like your big summertime blockbuster movies, what does this activity look like in the TV world, in the streaming world, in the print world? What are different ways that we can use kind of the building blocks of this activity to communicate and then give it a whole different texture, a whole different look? Somebody watches the show and goes, oh, that's absolutely the Bluecoats, but that's not the Bluecoats I've ever seen before. Where, it's got that signature of innovation, it's got that entertainment value, but it also kind of makes you go like, wow, that's something new, which is something that the Bluecoats have done over and over again, especially this last decade. So to be a part of something like that, where, we can get a group together, especially, like an all age group, it's got more opportunities for more people.
How do you provide an opportunity for people to do something like this and get an inlet to the activity or an outlet from the activity? How do we provide that opportunity? How do we provide a window into what we're trying to do and just give more people some access to what is a very cool thing that obviously had a profound, effect on a lot of our lives?
Can we put something together with limited amount of time that you're going to spend with this and still come up with an excellent product in a world-class atmosphere? That's going to be something neat to try to investigate. We do things the right way. It has a chance to do something very different where we're only together for a limited amount of time, and yet you produce something that's memorable and excellent. So that's kind of neat to try to take that on the road and keep working with it.
What's the next new thing the Bluecoats can bring to this activity? And to me, that's what really gets me hyped about what this possible season could be. Or, even though, it's not like we're going to go out and reinvent the wheel, but we might steer it someplace it hasn't been quite yet.
There's two things that have to be true about this. It has to be excellent and it has to be cool. Making music with your friends is fun.